Let's be real for a second. I'm going to start this off with a take that might make some people uncomfortable. You might even get a little mad at me for saying this, but it's a hill I'm willing to die on. I believe with everything I have that every single person listening to this should aim to own their own business. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying jobs are evil. In fact, working for a company is amazing when you are in your learning phase. I'm talking about when you're young, say between 18 and 25. That is the perfect time to be an employee. You get to go in, someone else pays you, and you get to spy on how the machine works. You see how the accounting department stresses over numbers. You watch how HR handles conflicts. You see how the boss navigates a crisis. You are basically getting paid to go to school. But here is the problem. People get comfortable. They treat that learning phase like a permanent destination. They want the steady paycheck. They want to clock out at 5 p.m. and forget about work. They don't want the headache of taxes or finding customers. It feels safe. It feels easy. But that comfort, it's a trap. Because when you work for someone else, you have zero control over your own survival. Let's look at the math of being an employee. It usually ends in one of three ways, and none of them are particularly fun. Option A, you get fired. Option B, the company goes bust or restructures you out of existence. Or option C, you make it to the finish line, you're 55 or 60, and they push you out for someone younger and cheaper. I work in the world of recruiting and business, and I have to tell you the brutal truth that HR departments won't say to your face. When we see a resume come across the desk and the person is over 50 years old, there is a stigma. Whether we like it or not, people look at that paper and think, too old. Imagine this scenario. God forbid you are 50 years old. You've been a loyal employee your whole life. Suddenly the company cuts you. Now you have to go out into a market that doesn't want to hire you. But thanks to modern medicine, you're going to live until you're 85 or 90. What are you going to do for those 40 years without an income? I don't care how much you saved in your 401k. If the cash flow stops at 50, you are in trouble. This is why the safe path is actually the riskiest gamble you can make. This is why ownership is non-negotiable. When you own the business, you can't be fired for being too old. You can't be restructured out of your own life. Your life is in your hands. People say, oh, not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. I hate that phrase, I really do. Usually, that's just something people say when they've given up on their dreams or when they've accepted complacency. They chose the easy chair instead of the driver's seat. Owning a business means you are the master of your own destiny. If you want a raise, you don't ask for permission. You go out and sell more. If you want more vacation, you build a system that works without you. It is about control. And in a world that is getting crazier by the day, control is the most valuable asset you can have. If you're enjoying this deep dive and want to unlock more secrets to financial independence, make sure you hit that follow button right now. We're just getting started. Okay, so you might be sitting there thinking, Solomon, that sounds great, but I don't know how to start a business. It's too complicated. Stop right there. They want you to think it's complicated so you stay in your cubicle. But here is the secret. You are already a business. Right now. Today. Let's say you are an accountant at a firm, or a graphic designer at an agency, or even a secretary. You are the CEO of a company called You Inc. You provide a service and you get money in exchange. The problem is, your business model sucks. Why? Because you only have one customer. Your boss, that's not your boss, that is your client. And having a business with only one client is terrifying. If that one client decides they don't like your services anymore, or if they run out of money, your revenue goes to zero overnight. That is a terrible business strategy. Starting a business is simply the act of going from one client to many clients. That's it. That is the only difference. When you start your own venture, you are doing the exact same work. If you were an architect for a firm, now you are an architect for yourself. But instead of one boss telling you what to do, you have 10, 20, maybe 100 clients. Think about the safety in that. If one client fires you, who cares? You still have 99 others paying you. You aren't doomed. You don't lose your house. You just go find one more to replace them. The stress of losing the job disappears because you have diversified your income streams. You are no longer dependent on the mood swings of one manager. This mindset shift changes everything. When you realize you are a service provider, you stop acting like a subordinate and start acting like a partner. But to do this, you have to be willing to leave the protection of that one big client. You have to be willing to handle the headaches. And yes, there are headaches. You have to deal with taxes. You have to deal with demanding customers. You have to deal with the printer breaking down. But I would take those headaches any day of the week over the anxiety of waiting for a pink slip. The stress of ownership is the stress of growth. The stress of employment is the stress of helplessness. Which one would you rather have keeping you up at night? Let me ask you this, and be honest in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were just a number at your job waiting to be replaced? Let me know down below. Now let's get practical. How do we actually do this? Do you walk into your boss's office tomorrow, flip a table and scream, "I quit"? Absolutely not. That is how you go broke. One of the biggest mistakes people make is jumping off the cliff without a parachute. You need to build a bridge. You do not give up your first stream of revenue, your job, until you have solidified your second stream of revenue. You need to cross over from your current life to your new life smoothly. If you jump, you fall, and the landing is hard. You have bills to pay. You have rent. You need to eat. Financial panic is the enemy of creativity. You cannot build a great business when you are terrified about how you're going to buy groceries next week. So, how do you build this bridge? You do it in the margins of your life. You do it during your lunch break. You do it early in the morning. You do it on weekends. I know a guy who started a video production business while working a full-time job. He didn't quit. He would take phone calls in his car between meetings at his day job. He would edit videos at night when his family went to sleep. He set a rule for himself. He would not quit until he had secured actual contracts. Not interest, not maybes, but signed contracts. He managed to close 6 deals before he ever handed in his resignation letter. Think about the confidence that gives you when you walk into your boss's office to quit. You aren't scared because you know you have money waiting for you on the other side. This phase is not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. You are going to be tired. You are going to be working double shifts, one for your boss and one for yourself. You might have to sacrifice your Netflix time. You might have to miss a few parties. It requires a supportive environment too. If you have a partner or a spouse, you need to sit them down and say, "Look, for the next 6 months, I'm going to be working like crazy. We might have to struggle a little bit right now, but I'm doing this so we never have to worry about money again." That buy-in is crucial. But remember, the suffering is temporary. The freedom of owning your own life, that lasts forever. It is a small price to pay for exiting the rat race. I'm curious, what is the #1 thing stopping you from starting your side hustle right now? Is it time, money, or fear? Tell me in the comments. So you're ready to build the bridge, but you don't know what business to start. This is where people get stuck. They wait for a $1 million idea to hit them like a lightning bolt. Spoiler alert, it won't. You need to force it. Sit down at your kitchen table tonight. Take out a blank piece of paper and a pencil, not a computer, a physical pencil and paper, and just start writing. Write down every single business idea that comes into your head. No editing, no judgment, even the crazy ones. Selling private jets, opening a laundromat, selling flowers, consulting. Write down 20 things. You want to empty your brain onto that page. Once you have your list, look at it. You are looking for something that catches your eye, something you actually like. For example, maybe you see video production on your list. Ask yourself, do I like this? Do I have any experience with this? Maybe you helped your current company with a marketing video once, and you enjoyed the process. Maybe you like the creative aspect. Then you need to look at the business side. Are the profit margins good? Is there a demand? Is there too much competition? You don't want to start a business where you make pennies on the dollar. You want high margins. You want a service where your knowledge is the product, because that has very little overhead cost. Let's stick with the video example. Why is that a good business? Because it solves a problem quickly. When a company has a great video, they can send it to clients and establish trust in 90 seconds. It opens doors. If you can offer a service that helps other businesses make money, you will always have work. That is a golden rule. If your business helps people get rich or saves them time, they will pay you. So circle the idea on your list that you enjoy, that has good margins, and that solves a real problem. That is your winner. That is the horse you are going to bet on. If you had to start a business tomorrow based on your current skills, what would it be? Drop your idea in the comments. You might find your first customer there. Okay, you have the idea. Now you need money. You need a client. Most people think they have to run Facebook ads or cold call strangers immediately. Wrong. Your first clients are already in your phone. We call this your power base. These are your friends, your family, your past employers, your former colleagues. These are people who already know you, like you, and trust you. Trust is the hardest thing to build in sales. With strangers, you start at 0. With your power base, you are starting at 80%. They want you to succeed. Now, a quick warning. If you are leaving a job, you generally shouldn't try to steal their direct clients to compete with them. That's bad karma, and it burns bridges. However, you can sell to the relationships you built. Let's say you were in the metal business, and now you are starting a video production company. You can call your old contacts in the metal industry and say, "Hey, I'm not selling metal anymore. I'm actually making high-end marketing videos now. I know your business, I know what you need, let me make a video for you." Because they already trust you, they are likely to say yes. They would rather hire Bob, who they've known for 10 years, than some random agency they found on Google. This is how you get your runway. You call your uncle. You call your college roommate who started a business. You call your neighbor. You might get a few no's, but you will get a few yeses. And those early yeses are crucial. They give you cash flow to survive those first few months. They give you a portfolio. Imagine getting paid to learn. That first job you do for your friend, it might not be perfect, but you'll learn. You'll figure out how to invoice, how to manage expectations, how to deliver, and you'll get a testimonial. Suddenly, you aren't just a person with an idea, you are a business with a track record. Real talk. Would you be embarrassed to try and sell your product to your friends and family? Or would they be your biggest supporters? Let me know what you think. Eventually, you are going to run out of cousins and former colleagues. You will tap out your power base. This is the moment where a hobby turns into a real business. You have to face the cold, hard market. You need to step out of the warm circle of people who love you and into the jungle of strangers who don't care about you. This is where the 10-call rule comes in. This is how you validate if your business has real legs. Here is the test. Pick up the phone and call 10 prospective buyers, people you do not know. Qualified buyers, people who actually need what you have. If you call 10 people and 10 of them slam the phone in your ear and say, "I'm not interested," you might not have a business. You might need to rethink your offer. But if you call 10 people and 3 of them say, "Tell me more," or "Send me a proposal," then you have struck gold. If you can get 3 out of 10 strangers interested, you have a viable business model. Now it's just a numbers game. If you want more money, you just make more calls. Once you know the offer works, you turn on the megaphone. You start posting on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. But don't just post ads, post your journey. People love a story. If you had a great day and closed a deal, post about it. If you had a terrible day and lost a client, post about that too. Be vulnerable. When you share the struggle, people become emotionally invested in your success. They want to help you. They want to buy from the guy who is keeping it real, not the faceless corporation. So look, whether you are 18 or 58, start the business, take the control back. It will be stressful, yes. It will be hard, yes. But it is the only way to truly be free. If this video gave you some value, or maybe a little kick in the pants to get started, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, leave a comment with your business idea, and share this with a friend who needs to quit their job. I'll see you in the next one.